It's a bull. I got to admit, it hit the mic stand. It's still a bull. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Got one of my favorite live cams in the whole world up right now, which is the Deerfield Beach live cam. Check that out. Got a bunch of little cudas sitting up there. They look about arm's length. You know, not many people know that barracuda, other than down in the Keys and some of in the Caribbean islands, you can eat them in the northern part of Florida and central and parts of southern Florida as well. As long as they're arm's length or less, they are very tasty critters, and there's certainly no shortage of them out there because people end up throwing them back when they catch them. But very, very tasty fish if any of you ever have eaten it before. I have many times. Again, the larger ones and the ones in the Caribbean of these guys right here have a cigueta, I think it's called, or I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but it's a neurotoxin or something. But again, they don't occur in the smaller ones, and they are only, the only time you have to worry about that is, again, the Caribbean barracudas. Check out lots of colorful little characters down there, and then there's the look downs, which are some of my favorites. When they turn sideways, you can barely see them. Did you see that? And a happy chub. All right, this is the Monday morning precious metals report, not the Monday morning fishing report. So let's move along here. So if you're new to my videos, though, these are really, what a great way to wake up and put this on your big screen and watch the fishes. There it is. I think it's a file fish, I think. All right, let's take a look at the quotes for the day, a couple of them. All the war propaganda, all the screaming and lies and hatred comes invariably from people who are not fighting. And who are those people? They're politicians, government officials, and corporate media. And I know I talk about those three bastards all the time, frequently, but that's where all the war propaganda comes from, and all the screaming and lies and hatred. It comes from the people that aren't fighting, that don't have to fight. The people that actually create the wars and create the problems. And who is that again? Government officials, politicians, and corporate media. That's who creates wars, and that's who fuels the fires of wars. All right? And anyway, you know my opinion on that. George Orwell pretty much nailed that. However, I'm going to counter that with this right here, and I am agnostic. I am not, agnostic means that I'm not sure. So I'm not really a religious person per se, but there's a lot of good things that come out of the Bible, come out of the Quran, come out of the Torah. There's a lot of good stuff that comes out of religious texts, and I think that for the most part, that's where good stuff should come from. And this is one of my favorites, of course, is blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And again, being agnostic, whether you believe in God or not, or whether you're not sure like myself to some degree. Although I got to admit, I tend to believe there's something out there, something more powerful than myself. But no less, what a great gosh, what is it? Proverb, I guess they call it. Blessed are the peacemakers. And again, where are all the peacemakers? They're just not out there right now, folks. All right, again, getting off into things that aren't precious metals, let's get into the precious metals right now and take a look at spot prices. Kind of monkey hammered a little bit downward, but still, I'm quite impressed with all the metals right now, except for platinum. Holy crap. But this might start making some sense here in a moment, platinum and palladium. Let's first take a look at gold right here, 1936.42, where it currently sits. What time is it? I got a little late start here. It's about noontime, 11:34. And what was the high? Well, the high would have been yesterday, last night, I believe, at 1959.40, and the low of 1926.30, which was probably this morning in the COMEX, TRIMEX markets, but we'll take a look at that in a moment. Silver holding on to that $25 mark, although it looks like it did dip below 25, but not for long. From a high of 25.60, which is probably the opening prices in last night's overnight markets. But again, we'll look at the 24-hour charts. We're currently, again, holding on to that $25 level. Didn't see that monkey hammering down to $23 that I was kind of expecting to happen. But again, I've got some pretty confident feelings that if we don't see any monkey hammering by Friday, I guess we got another quarter coming up, but if we don't see any monkey hammering by Friday, I think we're trending upwards here. We're going to be trending upwards both in silver and gold prices here. We built quite a base here. I mean, $25 sure looks like a base to me. Not sure about whether it does on the charts or not. And gold has had this 1900, I'm going to say 19 and a quarter base for quite some time. So, above 1900 for sure. But poor platinum, my gosh, look at that, 990, sub $1,000 platinum. It surprises the shit out of me. Low of 981 and a high of 1006. I think platinum is super cheap right now. Can't explain why. I did just see an article on ZH that they have not put sanctions on platinum and palladium out of Russia. And I guess part of the speculation on the article, from what I saw, and maybe we'll get into that in a little bit, is that it's just too important of a metal, platinum and palladium. It'd be stepping on their own wee-wee, so to speak, if they had sanctions. They're already, trust me, United States, our government, State Department, CIA, whoever you want to call it, UK and their covert agencies and the media all over, they've been stepping on our wee-wees for a long time. What you got going on in Ukraine right now, for example, is just what Ron Paul called many years ago and what the CIA calls blowback, unintended consequences from things that you cause. So what we're seeing in Ukraine was just simply blowback from a coup, a color revolution that the United States, the CIA, UK, probably some countries in the EU participated in breaking up that country, breaking up Ukraine in 2016, a once peaceful country, a divided country, but no less a once peaceful country that another one of our color revolutions turned upside down. And again, if you don't believe that, all you have to do is look at the proof. The proof is that we did overthrow the elected government of Ukraine in 2014-16 under the Obama administration, and hence this is where we are today. But is that good for precious metals? Yeah, sure, it's good for precious metals. So unintended consequences. Is it good for the world? Is it good for people that are dying and having to pay for this shit? Hell no. But when have politicians globally or officials or military, really the military-industrial complex, or corporate media have ever cared about, things like that, So anyways, boy, all right, I'm ready, man. Let's take a look at 24-hour charts and see. Platinum is cheap, though. I got to tell you, I think platinum is really cheap. Let's take a look at what we got going on here with gold prices. Where did quite the contrary, actually. It looks like in the overnight markets, we went from 1945 last night when it opened. I forget what time markets open. What is it, about Eastern time? I think it's around 6 o'clock or something like that, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So last night's the markets opened here, and they just steadily declined downward in the overnight New York Crimex markets, and probably in London as well, where it looks like that we did have that slingshot back upwards and into that mid-1940 range at the open of New York, which is kind of strange. This is usually where we see the monkey hammering right here. But it looks like just the opposite. What's the opposite of a monkey hammer? I had to think about that for a second. So here we are right now. Kind of markets are choppy, somewhat choppy and sideways here in New York, but holding on to that $1,935 range, as you can tell. 1936 there. Let's take a look at silver. Silver just sideways. Take a look at that, hanging on to that $25 mark all night. So a little bit dip overnight markets, and then again before New York opened. But as soon as New York opens, she bumps above that $25 mark, and then it's choppy sideways action all day. Very strange markets that I've been seeing in silver, hitting that $25 mark. You see it going down. For example, when it goes up to $25.60, $25.70, where it has in that $26 range. It was even higher a little while back ago, I think. What was the high? 26, I forget anyways. But when you see the big drop, it just didn't drop much below 25. 25 seems to be some kind of support level for silver. However, like I said, you just kind of expect at some point that they will try to batter these markets down. The manipulative behavior of these banks that do that stuff are, it's so in their face. I don't think they're afraid to do it anymore. They just have to get their timing right to get it below 25 and get down that $23 mark. But it won't last long. And here's the thing that I've been talking about for some while. I really believe that the reason we're seeing 25 plus silver is there is an extreme shortage of available silver. Notice I said not shortage, and there's a rarity of silver above ground. There's still lots of silver above ground, folks, but available silver for sale. There's not much available silver for sale out there, and that's why we're seeing higher premiums, and that's what I think is keeping this market from going down to $23. And if it does get monkey hammered down to 23, it won't stay there very long, and we certainly will not be able to buy any physical. We can't even buy physical without paying huge premiums right now at the current $25 level. What do you think would happen at 23? The market will just fucking break, excuse my language. Boy, that wasn't even worthy of an F word either, so sorry about that. I'll save it for a better moment. Well, there's your first drink of the day for you F guys. And let's take a look at what the markets are doing this morning. And Dow Jones, down overall, everything. And Pam and Russ Martin's in an article on GAT, well, in an article last week, their own article, I guess, was suggesting the same thing that I've been suggesting for over a month now, 2 months. Again, not an original thought on my part, but I believe that the stock market, Dow Jones, SP, and NASDAQ are being supported by the Presidential Working Group, also known as the Plunge Protection Team. I believe that there is money being dunked into these markets and the overnight markets. Again, not to make them go up, but just to prevent them from collapsing entirely. I believe there's a lot of intervention going into the equities markets. But remember, that's simply, in my opinion, an assumption on my part, okay, not fact. And the other problem with that is the Plunge Protection Team is they don't have to tell you what they're doing. In fact, they don't most of the time. And they can't deny that governments and the Fed doesn't intervene in markets anymore because we do it all the time since 2008. So what the hell do you think some private, not private, but some secret presidential plunge team can do? You know, what do you think they're doing in that room that they don't have to tell you what they're doing, all right? They're supporting these markets. I am pretty certain of it because one thing they did learn, these stupid bastards did learn in 2008, is they don't like bubbles bursting. So what was their solution? Is to slowly let the air out of the bubble. Wasn't fixing it. They didn't fix shit since 2008. All they did was kept putting more Band-Aids on the patient with a gaping wound. More Band-Aids and more plasma, and what's plasma? More money. But let's get out of there. That's something I repeated over the last 2 years over and over, and we know how that works. Wow, Bitcoin really taking the bid right now. 47,000, up substantially from where I saw it earlier. I suspect it has something to do with the, Russia mentioned that they might sell oil for Bitcoin, but I'm telling you folks, I don't ever see that happening. I think that one of the banking officials in Russia recently just came out and said that they would accept gold and Bitcoin for payment, okay? And I think that it was lost in translation. I don't think that the Russian government is going to take Bitcoin, which can be tracked and which can be followed, and which we don't even know what can exactly happen in that. I don't, at least. But we know for a fact it's not anonymous. I can't imagine Russia wanting to deal in Bitcoin at all because that can get shut off somehow as well, or followed, or whatever it may be. I think that was the Russian spokesperson misspeaking about Bitcoin, and I think what they really meant is some kind of crypto technologies that they could use between China and Russia and between other countries that they trade with. I don't think they were talking about Bitcoin, but I believe Bitcoin got a big bid because of that. They did say the word Bitcoin, but again, I can't possibly see the Russians. The thing about gold is the Russians can trade in gold, and no one can ever tell where the gold came from or where it went, ever and ever. But Bitcoin has a record of where it goes, and I'm not sure of ownership as well. It'll show, I guess, anyways, I just can't imagine them doing that, and if Bitcoin is getting a bid off that, I think it's short-lived, in my opinion. And the other thing, too, the nice thing about Bitcoin is it seems to have separated from where is it? I'm sorry. It seems to have separated from the NASDAQ, which is down right now, and Bitcoin is going up. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, it seems like Bitcoin was following the NASDAQ exactly. Well, again, I'm learning about Bitcoin as much as you folks out there, and I profess I am not an expert at all. Like I said, I talk about these things because I'm learning alongside of you as well. Hey, I haven't given a shout out to the Reddit Wall Street Silver peeps out there for a while. I'd like to thank Reddit Wall Street Silver for allowing me to post my videos out here. A really cool group, and I think a lot of you that probably watch my videos are members there as well. But again, shout out to all the Wall Street Silver apes out there and gorillas. And they still have the greatest memes for silver of anybody. Hey, this guy's stacking candlesticks too. All right, let's take a look at what I do best here, which is tell you what the best deals are out there, what to try to buy and what to stay away from. Well, folks, when in silver right now, it's a pretty sad state of affairs in silver. Look, I'm going to hit JM Bullion. As you know, I'm a South Florida dealer only. I only deal here in South Florida, no mail order stuff. So if you don't live in my area, unfortunately, I can't ship to you. My recommendation is find yourself a good local dealer. Meanwhile, for my folks that live down here, the peeps that live down here, and even if you're listening to me, you can take this information and use it. The best deals out there are probably 100-ounce bars. I mean, spot plus $3.50 over or so, and I believe they're asking even more. I got a good deal on those. I can beat Atmex and JM Bullion for sure. JM Bullion being the 800-pound gorilla out there, publicly traded company, so they have buying power and they can really lower prices. But no less, 1 ounce rounds as low as, let's take a look and see what their single price is. $31, man. I still have, I don't think I have that many left in stock right now, but we still have some 1 ounce rounds left. I definitely have them cheaper than JM Bullion for sure. And again, JM Bullion probably has the best prices on 1 ounce silver rounds out there. For the most part, because they own the mint that makes them. They own Silvertown Mint, and I think they're part of Sunshine as well. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. I do know they own parts of that. But look, $25.31. That's almost a $6 premium on 1 ouncers. That's getting up into Silver Eagle territory, and I'm afraid to even look at Silver Eagles right now. By the way, if you want small increments, this is still the cheapest way to buy it, man. Don't even try to buy silver maples or eagles. The price is just freaking insane on them. Their Sunshine Mints are a little bit more. What are silver eagles right now? There's a Sunshine, $39. Oh my God, folks! Anyone that's still buying silver eagles out there for investment, you're insane. I'm just going to go out and say it. I've warned people over the last year. I love the product, don't get me wrong, but the premium is absolutely insane. You got to be insane to be paying a premium like that. At this point, man, just say no to Silver Eagles until these premiums come down, and that may not even happen. But no less, look at this. And don't forget, supply and demand. That's the reason that these very little supply out there, big demand, especially for Silver Eagles, because it's the most popular product out there. People don't know better, especially new people when they're getting into silver. They load up on these overpriced premiums of recent. Again, overpriced, man. Think about that, $25, $35, $40. Holy crap, that's getting up into $15, $16 premiums. That's just insane, my friends. Avoid this stuff like the plague. I think not buffaloes, give me 1 second. Let's take a look at, gosh, that's even way too much. The best, look at this, per ounce, as low as 29. Again, remember, I advertise to beat all these prices. If you wanted Silver Eagles and you forced me to sell one to you, I'm still going to beat the price of JM and other guys. And same thing with Maple Leafs, but I'm not going to advise them to you. I think they're overpriced, especially when you can buy, look, $29 an ounce, 100-ounce bars. And some of you guys out there, you stack in smaller increments. I know hundreds isn't a reasonable thing to buy or tough to buy. But look, your next best deal after that is going to be your 1 ouncers, unfortunately. Let's take a look and see what 10s are out here at. Let's see, kilo bars, I'm not sure. I didn't do the math. There you go. 10s aren't bad either at $29. So I'd say 10s are a good deal. Hundreds are the best deals in generics right now. Avoid all the sovereign products like Maples and Eagles, and because the premiums are just insane. That's not too bad for Britannia at $31.21, but still far better, and your saving money is $30, $40 for generics and $29 for 100-ounce bars. Well, gold seems to be a little more available, but premiums on gold has even gone up more than I like. Best deals out there are still 1-ounce gold bars by any of these companies you see at JM Bullion. As you know, I advertise I can beat JM Bullion, and they're a good company, big company, publicly traded, trusted company. However, I'm a very competitive local guy, and I hope that you can find a good local dealer like myself that's competitive, honest, and can provide you products for a cheaper price than JM can, like me. So the best deals out there are bars for sure. American Eagles, I don't know, they're just, look, 2,000, that's what, $135 premium or something. Let's look at the price per ounce. Britannias and Maples are about the same price. And what is your price per ounce on bars? Let's see, $2,027. And look at that, 2019, yeah. So the bars are the best deal out there on JM's site and probably on other sites as well. And as far as coming into my store and buying from me, we're going to suggest that you buy bars first and then probably Maples and other things. We got some good deals in here, though, so definitely can beat these guys' prices. Well, let's take a look at gata.org. If you're a gold person, then you definitely have this bookmarked on your bookmark bar, because lots of good stuff here. And if you're a silver guy, I've always been saying, silver guys need to watch the price of gold, because where gold goes, silver will follow. And what's on everybody's mind over, and even mine, we're talking about them. It's like, remember the Brady Bunch, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. Remember that from the Brady Bunch? Jan would complain about Marcia. Well, it's kind of like Russia, Russia, Russia. Jesus, that's all we're kind of hearing in the news. Russia's nuclear option isn't bombs, but gold. London trader McGuire says, he makes a good point there that re-upping the financial system, and basically that by the Russians, and I've said this a long time ago, man. I've been talking about the U.S. weaponizing the dollar for like freaking a year and a half, 2 years now. And look where we're at today. Look what's happened. We're creating our own demise. The morons that run the United States, the officials, the politicians in both parties, the morons that run this country basically weaponize the dollar. The dollar was weaponized decades and decades ago, but it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And what's the one thing during the fall of the Soviet Union, if anyone remembers that, if you're old enough to remember when the Soviet Union did fall, is what is the one thing that Russians coveted? You know, even when we were in the deepest, coldest part of our war, the one thing they coveted was, well, I know they liked blue jeans. If anyone remembers, Levi's were big. American cigarettes. Again, I'm aging myself here a little bit. And what was the other thing? Besides music, they liked the Beatles back then. The Russians loved the U.S. dollar. They saved it, carried it when they could. All of our enemies throughout the years, even the Viet Cong probably had U.S. dollars in their pocket. So they loved the U.S. dollar. They hated our policy, but they loved the dollar. So the last thing we should have done, what we had there, think about this for a second, what we had for years and years, our enemies were dependent on the dollar. But when you got to the point where you weaponized it, completely weaponized it by taking it away from the enemy, they realized that they had to create their own systems. And that's exactly what China and Russia has been doing for years now. They've been building up their central bank gold reserves, and they've been looking at ways to trade and to get rid of the petrodollar. Well, I digress. Wow. And I digress big time, actually. There's 2 drinks for you digress guys. And here you go, dollar reserve system praised with India and Russia currency deals. So the oil deals between Russia and India now will no longer be dollar denominated, which is bad for us, folks. Again, who created the situation? Our politicians worldwide did. And the moron media that doesn't know shit from Shinola, that reports this stuff. And actually, and more or less, corporate media has just become a mouthpiece for government officials and politicians. That's all. Parties, I should say. Russian central banks will resume buying gold from, again, Russia, Russia. Will resume buying. But this tells you how big and important things are coming into play for the price of gold, folks. And like I said, for you silver guys, follow this. Gold shoots up dramatically. Silver will definitely follow, for sure. And it looks like we're getting into a environment out there where gold will be king again. Again, look, sanctioning Russia, Marcia. All right, here, I'm going to get into last Friday's video here. Triple-digit silver coming. Gosh, that was one of my, I love that live video. That was the Blue Springs or something up in northern Florida. The local cams weren't that good, but there's the alligator gar. What a very cool picture that is. All right, let's take a look at questions from last Friday's video. I'm going to get through them as fast as I can here, folks. Of course, you all know Colin, George, Robert, Mark, Soro, One is None, Rick Rock, hope I missed someone, Robert W. Mind, Hunter to Bus, there's Chart Guy right there. And I'm going to move down here and, hey, let's take a look at Chart Guy so I don't miss him here. What is Chart Guy saying? Chart Guy says, yes, but again, patterns need to be bona fide, often markets will start. Oh, my question to Chart Guy last Thursday, I think, was I was mentioning, how does manipulation play into the charts? For example, you know, you're looking at charts and it looks like that we're going to have I mean, the charts are telling you that we're going to have a screaming bull market, and all of a sudden a major player like JP comes in and pulls out the rug from under it. I mean, that was my question, but let's take a look at what the answer from this very astute I'm sure handsome gentleman, handsome and smart gentleman, it says here. Yes, but again, patterns need to be bona fide. Often markets will start a particular formation, but it may morph into something different, bigger, or lose its integrity and blow up, which is why until the last turning point is in place, meeting specific criteria, it is based on probabilities. Understand there are outside factors other than just buy and sell clicks, but the pattern is a representation of human psyche behavior. Which is the interesting part to me that Chart Guys points out here, that the pattern is a representation of human psyche behavior, which would indicate that even the manipulation is part of the human psyche behavior. So I guess what Chart Guys trying to tell me is that the human psyche, or i.e. the manipulation, is kind of represented in the patterns, which I would love to kind of learn and see what does it look like? What does manipulation look like in the charts, Chart Guy? If you ever have a chance to show us that or send us to a link, it'd be great. But let me complete what he says here, which includes unequivocally all known and unknown variances. Well, interesting. Since human psyche is predictable, this characteristic applies to charts under certain conditions. With that said, commodities provide much cleaner patterns than stocks. Interesting. And both silver and gold are actually two of the best markets which provide clear textbook type patterns in spite of manipulation. There are now just literally days left for the 20s, and we will not see this price again in our generation. We look for 23, but maybe you need to add 0 as the last digit. 230, triple digit silver. Oh gosh, 100 or bust. That's kind of cool, but will a loaf of bread be $100? Well, actually, and I had one other question, Chart Guy, if you get a chance to answer this. What if a manipulator is looking at charts and then making his determination of when to monkey hammer a market or when to let it go up, per se? What if they're using the charts as well? What if a manipulator uses the charts to make their decisions to manipulate a market? I don't know if that sounds confusing, and maybe I'm getting a little beyond myself, but that's awesome, Hunter or Bust. Thanks for the, or as known by me as Chart Guy, thanks for your time, your effort in explaining this type of stuff. I really appreciate it. Let's move down here and close your eyes for you that get motion sickness. And there we go. Again, want to thank everybody that watches my videos. And man, our comment sections are just getting larger. And oh my gosh, larger and larger and larger. I don't think I'm going to be able to answer them all one day. And I'm just a small channel too. Someday I'm going to have to just pick out a few questions out of all the comments. That's if our channel continues to grow, which is questionable. Let's see here. Tough to say. If I keep talking politics, it's going to be questionable whether my channel will grow. I think actually that's why it hasn't grown much at all. Again, another conspiracy on my part. And let's see, that was a heavy flip. Oh, you're talking, Johnny Boy's talking about my coin. Where's my coin? It's battered, it's beat up, it's fallen on the floor. Ready? Here, you can hear it here. There it is right there. One side's a bull, one side's a bear. It's a coin I've been using for 2 years now, since I started flipping the coin in the morning. Actually, I flip it in my hand for anyone that's interested. I don't know if you can hear that flip, but I flip it in my hand, and then I do the spin. All right. And I actually have a second coin in case I misplaced this one, but this is my favorite. It's all worn out, and again, the edges is all banged up. That's probably why it lands on a bull more often. Tough to say, though. Hey, thank you, Abby. I appreciate that. And you are my favorite commenter after 7 p.m. as well. So, Clayton says, I spent many years on the Gulf Coast watching many alligator. Never heard of a bad encounter with one. Yeah, me neither. Bus driver says I talk too much about other items. I know, bus driver, but that's just the way I am. And, you know, there's a lot of other channels out there that can satisfy people that don't like people that talk too much about other items. But, hey, listen, that's just me, and I don't think I'm going to be changing anytime soon. Although I do like the idea of doing short reports if I knew how to speak for 3 minutes or less. I can't do anything in 3 minutes. Well, maybe one thing. Johnny Boy Silver says there's a global threat out there. Yeah, that's true. And governments control markets. I believe that as well. And Cloudler Mark. Sorry to hear that, Johnny Boy. And maybe once in my life, by the way, nice view. Thank you very much. I don't think so. I think we're going to see triple-digit silver not too far off in the future here. I really do. I mean, it just, God, everything's set up to do it. However, never underestimate the monkey hammerers. Charles Taylor, what a better way to distract from a falling empire. Yeah, that's true. War is a great way to distract from a falling empire. War is a great way to make it through the midterm elections as well, if you ask me. And great video, Silas Davis. Bizarro World, that was Superman. Yep, and always remember from a Seinfeld reference, that's true. Next 10 years, we'll see some things we never experienced. This is true as all. Again, don't mean to speed through these. A lot of you guys are kind of just agreeing with what I said, or I agree with what you said. And thanks, Celeste. Yeah, that's a possibility as well. The global, so many opinions, so many opinions. T's great, love them. You're great also because I get to drink more. Hey, yeah, I just met the T from T's Silver Stackers. Yeah, really nice guy. He did an interview with me. I think I mentioned that in the last video I did as well. And buy the rumor, sell the news. Yep, that's true. That's a statement because I couldn't remember. I was fudging it when I was talking about it. And Dane Perina says something like Bitcoin and the Russian Putin connection. Pina says that Bitcoin was created to stabilize the US dollar. Interesting. Starting to make sense now when I'm connecting some dots. Putin pays 5 chess while the West is playing checkers. I cannot argue with that. I believe that to be true. And again, I'm not pro like Putin or pro. I just call it like I see it, man. Prepare yourself for digital currency. Glenn Beck, yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, alligator guard fishing on the Trinity River in Dallas. Yeah, they are fun to catch, Michael. And I feel very electric for silver, like it has a rocket strapped to its ass and faulty igniter. Yep, yep. Click, 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 but it'll eventually go silver. Lou, relax. And Heart of Texas. Hey, man, I'm not slurping my coffee. I don't do coffee slurping. Hang on. I do quiet humming while I'm doing. Ready? Okay. I don't think I'm slurping. I think the charts are actually includes the manipulation. Yeah, that's kind of what Chart Guy was just talking about. The good life. 20 years ago in the economy, I was only a young whippersnapper. Those guard would swim alongside our schools, surfing like dolphins. Yeah, I love the fish cams. And per Chart Guy again. P.S. All right, I'm going to roll out of here, folks, because I don't want to make this video too long. Again, as I always say, I'd like to thank everyone, Razor238, Brian Ramby, all the new people out there, Rusty Rabbit, Mark Patzner, and of course you old folks, old cowboys and stuff. I always like to see your comments out there as well. Well, I think that's it. I'm going to call it Rick Rock, Robert W. Cluss, one is none. Man, we got a lot more comments than I used to have. Gosh, I wish I could answer every one of you folks. Sorry about that. Well, hey, that's it. I'm going to call it a day. Think for yourself, question authority, and that's my theme for the year. And as you know, I'm always saying also question yourself because, you know, it's a good thing to do. Hey, that's it. Thanks for watching. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out with whatever you need. And if you don't live in my area, again, I recommend you find a good local dealer. Try to keep that money local, folks. I can't tell you how important that is. Hey, thanks for watching, and have yourself a great day.